made it. I've set my phone for rotate, so I am in landscape mode. I need to shorten my necklace and cue the music. Trying to give people a few minutes to come on. It's not 7 o'clock for everybody right now. This is my father's favorite song. He was a musician. It's just so appropriate for this channel. Okay. My father was a musician, and I think he actually gave me the idea to play that song. That's copyright free. And yeah, he would play at the piano bar. And when I went to watch him perform in Palm Springs, I was 20 something. He would play it and he would sing it, and he sang like Johnny Mathis. So anyway, this is in honor of my father, I guess. And welcome to my very first live stream. I am doing this on my phone with my ring light, and I did get all dutied up, as I say. So if you want to get a drink, this is just a sugar-free sparkling ice. A friend of mine who I've asked to be a moderator is busy. Oh, it looks like somebody's here. Could be me. I don't know. This will be a process of me really learning how to read the chats and check the volume. I hope I'm loud enough, and maybe you need to adjust your volume. I don't know. Okay, they're gone. So I made a community post. This is a magical channel, and the solitary path, I think, is very appropriate for this first live stream because it's like an introduction to this channel. And it is about the magical path and the magical practitioner, which many times is a solitary path. And so anybody who would like to share how you got on, or if you are thinking of starting a magical path, and if you are practicing alone, the nice thing about it is that there's so much available online. You can learn from the privacy of your home. And nobody else has to really know necessarily that you are studying and learning. Now, I first started with a book, and this was after I had I've been doing some meditations, and I had met a spirit guide, and he was leading me to books. I am a traditional witch, and I am a shamanic witch. So I do a variety of things. I'm basically a psychic medium. I am a conduit, a voice box for the spirit world, and I think in particular the star goddess Astarte, although I have channeled messages from other spirits many times. So I hope I can attract people who are interested in this subject matter. I'm planning my lives to go probably for every week, Witchy Wednesday. And I think I'm going to be doing Glitching the Matrix next week, which would be stories that I will tell about paranormal things that have happened in my favor. And I got this idea from another practitioner who has her lives on Monday night. But yeah, there's paranormal things that have happened that have actually allowed me to get something that I really needed to get at that time when I didn't have the money. And it hasn't been, you know, thousands of dollars, but it has been a fairly significant amount at some times. In particular, getting my rent paid here when I had to ask for a second time. So I do work with spirits, and not everybody, though, who's on a solitary path does. One of the first books that I read was by Silver Raven Wolf, and she talks a lot about the solitary path and the solitary practitioner. And she does have an entire book, I think, devoted to the solitary practitioner. This doesn't mean that you can't practice with a friend, and if you do, I'd love it for you to share in the chat, or if you practice with a family member. This is not about wanting to even join any type of a Wiccan church or a magical coven. Covens, I think, were originally meant to get together just to celebrate the solstices and the equinoxes. And I'm sure as they got to know each other, they would get together and celebrate birthdays and things like that, right? Births, a lot of similar things that you see happening in churches nowadays. But it's really about finally realizing that you want to choose your own spiritual path, your own religion, if you want to call it that at first, your own spiritual practice. And it's not really about going off to become, like I said, a Mormon or a Muslim or any type of organized spiritual ideology. It's more about searching within, fine-tuning yourself to your inner guidance system, your inner compass, your intuition, which is actually going to connect you to your purpose for being here, which is connected to your natal chart. And I want to talk more about that as well. I've been talking a lot about that lately on my videos. So there's a lot of information on the internet and on YouTube, and you know, it really can be difficult to decipher what is going to be the best for you. Where do you start? And believe it or not, I have recommended, and I'm going to recommend, that you start with books. My first book that I was led to was called Magic for Beginners by J.H. Brennan. And that gave me the basics of ceremonial magic, which is, you know, an older style of magic. Witchcraft is just kind of a shrunken down version of that. So you could call it portable magic. The temple is now our altar. The cone of energy is now our hat. And you can either call the watchtowers, or you can call the archangels, or there's really a variety of ways for you to work. And that is the beauty of the path of witchcraft and the traditional witchcraft. I like it because it doesn't really have any specific dogma. So I think I have somebody. Hello, are you on a solitary path? Are you thinking about starting a magical path? I think some of the misconceptions is, do you have to join a coven? Do you have to join anything? And it's really not about joining. Oh, somebody I think is here. Chloe, I think it said. Hi. It went away, so I don't know what it said, darn it. This is going to take some getting used to for me. My phone is not quite that close. I don't have a moderator yet. I've talked to someone about being a moderator for me, but she's got a lot of things going on right now in June. So when she gets back, maybe I'll have more time to study about how she can moderate for me. And yeah, I think this is a good way for people to not only interact with someone who is magical and experienced, such as me, but learn in the privacy of your home. Again, the first book I was led to was Ceremonial Magic by J.H. Brennan, and I actually started doing that for several months in my bedroom. I took to it like a duck takes to water because I'd already been through my initiation in a dream. That's another story. After that, I was led to another book called The Ways of the Mystic Master, and that is a book on Rosicrucianism. I believe after that, my next book that I was led to was by Silver Raven Wolf. My spirit guide had been constantly trying to tell me, you're a witch, you're a witch. And something must have happened to me in a past life because, boy, I just didn't exactly really want to be it as an adult with children. I did when I was younger, but not really for the right reasons. So I had gotten on the internet and found a website, and all the things I read made me realize I'm a pagan. Because I'd sort of had a loss of memory for a little while, and I had to figure out, okay, who am I? What do I believe in now? And so that was very helpful. But yeah, once I finally admitted that I was a witch, after many promptings from my spirit guide, I picked up to ride a silver broomstick. So this could be a very good way for you to first learn all the basic foundations of nature-based religion, earth-based religion, goddess-based religion. It's all the same thing. It's alternative religion, and to me it is the left-hand path because it's not the mainstream. Joseph Campbell said anybody who's not practicing a mainstream religion is an outlier, which means they're on the outer section of the Venn diagram. It's a double circle. And he said, when you get to the point where you really want to march to the beat of your own drummer, you might be lonely for a while, but you'll be happier. Here is where you find yourself. Here is where you have either self-actualized or you're beginning to self-actualize and decide for yourself as an adult what you want to decide for yourself, how you want to live, how you want to think, what you want to choose. Now, a lot of this path has to do with getting to find your makeup, which has to do with acknowledging the goddess if you're a female, which is, we've been cut off from that through other mainstream religions here in the United States. So it's important for us to get in touch with that and reintegrate that into ourselves. In doing so, we then move on to aspects of nature and the moon. And I talk a lot about the moon. The moon tonight is transiting, I believe, in Capricorn, which is very appropriate for what I'm doing right now. I have a moon in Capricorn, and so that relates to being out in the public, especially at the 10th house. So I wish I could get some more people on, but you know, this is going to be a process of growing. It doesn't necessarily grow immediately. I didn't give much warning. I have talked about it for a few days. But you know, it does take about, they say, a year and a day to get a good grasp of things. You're going to be studying all of the different subjects on what's called the wheel. And I just had a blast. I wasn't lonely. It wasn't until probably the second year when I felt like I wanted to get together with a couple of other people. And at that time, I joined a meetup group. It was a witches meetup group here in town. And my friend who I've asked to be a moderator was a moderator of that group. So I'm going to have to watch some videos and see how I can read the comments in the chat. If you want to make another comment, I'll come up closer and see what it says. Thank you very much for being here. If you have something to share about if you are solitary or if you have someone that you practice doing spells with, that would be great. Otherwise, I'm just happy to have you here connecting with someone who is in the magical world. This is my life. This is my lifestyle. If you've been following me, I generally have a candle burning for each day of the week and a planetary sigil. So I try to connect myself with each planet that goes for the day. And what's another really good thing about stepping on this practice, you do not have to self-initiate, but you can study and you can learn and you can practice, is that we no longer want to be at the beck and call of others, at the whim of others, subjected to others. A lot of people that are unhappy are because they feel this way, and they haven't really been allowed to probably even look at their astrological chart to study what they're made of, or even look at their numerology. All of that takes time, but if you really want to find out, you know, why is this happening in my life, and why hasn't this happened in my life, and maybe there's something I can do to encourage things to change, that is really what it's about. And it's really magical astrology. We are working with the moon and days of the week and nature to harness some type of energy to work in our favor. So it's not a path of a fatalistic idea that we just look at our chart and see our fate. No, no. The beauty of that is, first of all, learning why we came here. And either we accept it or we seek to work to make it better. And a lot of people are really lonely and depressed because they don't want to accept the path they've chosen. But as I've said recently, we have come here to strive. And for a lot of people, that involves pain, struggle, and learning how to manage that or deal with it or overcome it. Do you agree, Chloe? I'm pretty sure that was your name. I saw something pop up. Well, Jade was here earlier when I was taking pictures, but I don't know why she didn't pop up here when I hit the button. Another thing that you will start probably either noticing or feeling is that you're going to probably attract a familiar of some kind. And it won't be just a pet. They will be very interested in your magic. Whatever it is that you're doing. So that's another subject that I could make a live for. Wednesday relates to Mercury, and that relates to communications and public relations. So I think this is a good day. I think once the word gets spread, people will put it on their calendar and stop by. It's about 7:20. So I would love to hear if you are studying and practicing any type of occultism, metaphysics, astrology, numerology, traditional witchcraft, wicca, whatever it is that you are beginning to learn and what it is that you've learned. It does start with connecting to the goddess, which has been cut off from the patriarchal religions that pretty much dominate the United States. There are some states that have more pagans, but I don't think that's the majority of the states. So yeah, YouTube does suggest that you guard yourself with anonymity, if that's what you choose. You know, have a faceless icon. You can just leave a waving hand or a smiley face emoji, something like that to interact. That's going to help the algorithm for me when I do go live. Oh, I think I have 2 people. Hi. I'm like a kid in the candy store. Well, I started on this path really after my dream journey, and that was in the year 2000, and it happened right about my birthday time. Sun was going into Cancer. It was the summer in July, and yeah, it was a pretty profound experience for me. And so I've been studying and practicing like a mad woman ever since. So it's been 23 years. I was led to the tarot cards after about a year, I think. And then I had it channeled to me from another medium that I had spirit guides, so it definitely led me to the cards, and that is how they connect to me and speak to me in dreams. So I read the cards before I go to sleep. Meditation is another foundation that's going to help you get in touch with your intuition, your inner compass, and really help you understand how you need to practice your own spirituality. I didn't know for many years that I was basically a Pisces. It's only until I've connected with the star goddess Astarte, who's led me to the constellations and ancient astrology, that I've come to realize your rising is your true self. So I'm more like a Pisces than a Cancer. So, you know, it's like a journey of 1,000, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. And I feel like, you know, it's taken a lot of years for me to get to this point, but it takes as long as it takes. And my main feeling was that I just had the freedom to not be locked into a dogma that I felt like I had outgrown a long time ago. It had never really improved my life. And so I was working to learn how to do things differently. Well, I hope that you are enjoying your spring, that you have some fun things planned. I think I'm going to spend most of my time at the water park. So if you would like to join in the next time and maybe say something with a faceless icon, I think my next live is going to be about glitching the matrix and how realizing that we are multidimensional beings and maybe even getting in touch with your spirit guide or getting in touch with the goddess in this pagan, nature-based reality, our natural state, really. There are things that can happen that seem unbelievable and impossible and that you can't share with everyone, but they happen, and they happen at moments when you really need it. And this could be something as simple as a song coming on the radio of someone who has passed, sending you a message. A YouTuber just recently was a makeup guru commenting on how her father was sending her messages. He's passed not too long ago, and it was out in public. She was at an airport, and he had literally, the clock had literally stopped at a time of his death, and it just wasn't moving. And so, along with a couple of other things that were happening, she said she knew it was her father connecting and saying, I'm still around, I'm still watching. So I hope that you don't feel quite so alone if you are alone and you are on a solitary path with no one to practice doing spells with. Finding someone that you like to join. I mean, I have a few other lives that I like to watch once or twice a week. One of them actually has quit doing the lives. Another one I'm watching on a regular basis. She does twice a week. And yeah, you know, it's one way to kind of connect with others, whether you talk or not. And I appreciate you being here. I hope this has been enjoyable. And I hope you'll spread the word or join me next Witchy Wednesday at 7 p.m. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see you later.